Hey guys, Tom Collins, 8-Figure Business. Wanted to show you something today that I shared with a mastermind group that I was in about a month ago, really on your core product profits. And I'm going to use a kind of a retail example of the iPhone. So iPhone sales, you know, now that I think today it's the Galaxy S4 is the latest, greatest thing. So whichever one, doesn't really matter. But the question is the iPhone the most profitable product out there? Some of you are saying yes, some of you are saying no. Why would the iPhone not be the core product, whether it's for Apple or for, I use Verizon, let's say Verizon. So if I'm Apple, let me show you these examples. If I'm Apple, iPhone actually is what gets people in the door, right? When somebody buys an iPhone from me, do they make a lot of money on that? Not really. They make a lot of money because they get a lot of volume, but they don't make a lot of money on a per unit basis. But what happens when somebody has an iPhone? Typically, they're in iTunes, right? And in iTunes, they're buying music and they're buying apps, right? And of course, if you fall in love with Apple, the back end is you might buy more Apple products. So everybody knows this, of once you have a customer, every additional thing you sell to that customer is less it's more cost effective, right? Because now the customer's already loyal, they're already following, you have a distribution channel, you go, hey, we have a new Apple, and just a bunch of people buy it just because it's Apple, right? So let me give you a little clearer example. So if I'm Verizon, and the iPhone is my front end, do I make any money on the iPhone? No, not really. Not on the hardware itself, right? I make 10%, 20% margin, or I give it away and I lose $10 or $20, whatever Verizon wants to do, depending on how hard they want to push, right? Same thing with Verizon. You go into the back end here, they're selling accessories, right? They're selling all of the data plans, right? They're selling the service. The actual core product for Verizon is the service. The core product for Apple is the iTunes access, where they can then sell all of those other products, right? So it's not, sometimes it's a product, sometimes it's just the channel itself. But if you're Verizon, you want to get people in the door with the sexiest phone possible, the Galaxy, the iPhone, the whatever next month is going to be. And then you want people subscribing to your service, committing to a year, committing to 2 years. And then there's all these little back-end things of the accessories, all the overcharges if they go on a cruise and they sign up for the cruise stuff, right? And they ding you for X dollars, or people don't sign up for the $5 a month service and they pay $1 a minute, right, for those calls. That's where they make the back end money, right, as I call it. So it's not the core, but because they have the core, they'll spend money easily here on this. So if you were to go out on the front and say, hey, buy international cell phone service, there's a very small pot. But if you sell that and make money on a customer doing these two things, then everybody who buys international service, you make just tremendous profits from, and those become big, big profit centers. So the question for you is, and here's what I see in internet marketing particularly, is a lot of people have this awesome front end, and they're all about the front end. My latest campaign is da-da-da-da-da, and we do a webinar, and we have upsells, and we have this funnel, and it's typically a front end with some upsells, right? And then what they do is they basically put people on their list, and they promote other people's offers, which is great. And there's a model there, right? This could be your core profit center, is just the list. Typically, though, if this is all you have, you're missing something, because you need some of those bigger ticket pieces as a core profit center. So one of the things we did at PMI is we had an upsell piece that was a continuity piece, $39 a month, and at some point, you know, whatever the numbers were, whether it was $500,000 or $1 million a month or $200,000 a month, regardless of what the numbers were, that was all pure profit. So when we would go and sell coaching, coaching might be at a pure profit, but we could kind of delineate where we put our profits and made the sale. So I've gone a little complex there, obviously, but what you want to do is, your lead generation is your lead generation. It's typically not your core profit center. Your core profit center usually comes after you generate leads. If that's not the case, you're not getting enough leads, because you're putting your core profit center first, and you're having to play this advertising game of, okay, I have to make a profit because this is the core product. So does that make sense? The core product is usually the hot, exciting, very sexy thing. the core profit center or core product profits come from offering something that's typically bread and butter. People always want it, they always need it, they always plug into it, like a gym membership, like electricity, like Verizon phone service, like the software that has the service that they can't get rid of, you know, and those types of things. So anyway, tons of ideas on that. If you have any questions about this, give me a call, reach out. We teach this obviously at the boot camp, but I wanted to share it with you just the same way we did with the mastermind members, just to keep your heads going and give you some new insights on some things that a lot of people don't see until they kind of get all the way deep and go, wow, I ran this launch and I didn't make any money. What do I do now? Well, I'll just hammer my list. Well, gosh, if you have other offers that are your own for your list, you'll make probably more money. Just another core product profit idea. So anyway, I'm Tom Collins, 8 Figure Business. Great talking to you. Talk to you later.